Report from Petrojam Review Committee to go before Parliament. Ground broken for multi-billion-dollar Marant Bay Urban Center, and educators recognized for their service to the nation. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Simone Wolf. Prime Minister Andrew Holness returned to the country on Monday following his two-day visit to the Cayman Islands. Mr. Holness was on an official working visit to commemorate the Cayman Islands' 60th anniversary of its first written constitution. Before delivering the main address at the function, Mr. Holness held talks with the Minister of State, Lord Ahmad of Wimbledon. The two spoke about increasing cooperation on issues such as climate change, disaster resilience, security, trade, diaspora relations, and correspondent banking. Bilateral talks with Premier Alden McLaughlin centered on trade, business, and agricultural collaboration. Along with Minister Darrell Vaz, Prime Minister Holness explored business opportunities with the private sector on the island. The Jamaican diaspora, which reportedly makes up 40% of the Cayman Islands, was also engaged by Prime Minister Holness. Before his departure Friday, the Prime Minister convened the first meeting of the Violence Prevention Commission. Announced last year, the Commission is charged with examining all aspects of violence and ways to address it to ensure lasting solutions in the country. In addition to issuing terms of reference for the group, Mr. Holness asked that the membership be expanded to include representatives from the Ministries of National Security and Education, as well as the private sector organization of Jamaica. Earlier in the week, the Prime Minister broke ground for the $49.8 million Marant Bay Urban Center in St. Thomas. The 365,000 square feet town center is to be built on the site of the old Goodyear factory on the outskirts of the parish capital. It will house an assortment of government and private sector offices, including a courthouse and business process outsourcing space. The project, which is being spearheaded by the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, is expected to provide 3,000 jobs.
I want it to be known that the government is standing behind this project. And we will ensure that this project is done.
And while in Marant Bay, the Prime Minister unveiled plans for the expansion of the Garmex Free Zone in Kingston. He said Cabinet had approved the Factories Corporation of Jamaica's expansion of the commercial and industrial property, which is at full occupancy. In Phase 1 of the project, 150,000 square feet of the planned 595,000 square feet space will be added. Prime Minister Holness said works were also ongoing at the 810,000 square feet Nagahead Technology Park in St. Catherine. The technology park will cost the Factories Corporation of Jamaica $8.1 billion to build.
It will house mostly BPO activities, but it is a technology park, so we want to also encourage new business in technology to occupy the park under a special economic zone operation. And then, beside that project, in partnership with the UDC, they're also going to construct a 120,000 square feet commercial and industrial complex valued at $1.2 billion, which will be a supporting facility for the tech park.
By Wednesday evening, the Prime Minister was back in Kingston to recognize 40 educators with over 1,250 years of combined contribution to the education system. The 2019 Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation was held on the North Lawns of Jamaica House. Mr. Holness used the occasion to stand by the Primary Exit Profile, PEP, saying it was a viable alternative to the previous high school placement test, GSAT. According to the Prime Minister, PEP is part of the creation of a new Jamaica, where persons apply critical thinking and the process of investigation to find solutions to problems.
Amid the rapid societal changes, our approaches, programs, and areas of emphasis must keep pace to be relevant to contemporary society and to the future.
The results of the first sitting of PEP was released on June 21. On Thursday, the Prime Minister was at another education function. This time, he was the keynote speaker at the Campion College 2019 graduation ceremony.
Take all the actions necessary to achieve your goals now. Because you, at this time, may believe you have a long time to go. But time stands still for no man.
Mr. Holness also lauded the church's involvement in assisting government with the delivery of quality education to the nation's children. Before that, Mr. Holness was in office Thursday to receive an audit report he had requested into the operations of state-owned oil company Petrojam. Led by businessman Christopher Zaka, the Petrojam Review Committee found that for Petrojam to remain commercially viable, its operating efficiencies must improve. Other recommendations are that an investment of $78 million is needed to increase productivity, and that the state should seize active management of both the terminal and the refinery through a long-term lease of Petrojam's assets. Mr. Holness said the cabinet considered the report but had not made any decisions regarding the committee's findings.
The report will be made public, and the stakeholders, even though many of them would have had the opportunity to speak to the committee, might want to go public with their views as well. And then we gauge public opinion, engage the public in this conversation, and we make a decision. This is not an unbounded period of engagement. We have some critical timelines on these things because the refinery is now not operating at its fullest.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.